to his chance. And Charlie Wellens has scored. Goodness me! In the 5th minute of additional time and put Leyton Orient in front. And Leyton Orient have come from behind and surely have picked up 3 precious points.
Orient Live. It's another match for the O's and we're bringing you all the action here today as we travel to Rotherham to go on the hunt to build on last Saturday's fantastic win over Doncaster and keep picking up those points. I'm Ollie Buck and I'm delighted to be joined here in the studio with journalist Elliot Byrne and winger Jordan Graham. Jordan, thanks for joining us again. Elliot, thank you of course as well, but we'll come to you in a moment. Jordan, just give us a quick update. How are you doing?
Yeah, first of all, delighted to be back. Thank you for having me back. You guys know I love it on here. And yeah, I'm progressing really well. The last 4 weeks, I've been outside on the pitch, on the grass, running, putting in the hard yards. And if all keeps going well, like it has been so far, I think the aim is to hopefully get back in training at some point around the end of this month or early next month. So extremely exciting. I was just saying to Elliot earlier that once you start hearing the months go down to weeks, it's like you start to know you're not too far away. So can't wait for the next couple of weeks. I
would love having you on every time, Jordan, and the updates get more positive every time as well.
Indeed.
So amazing stuff. And in terms of the fixture today then, Elliot, it's a really good opportunity to build on what we've started in the last couple of games.
Yeah, last week was a massive win for everyone. It was a really comprehensive performance. Scored lots of goals and didn't concede any, which is obviously what we want from every game. So yeah, it's a good opportunity to build on that and hopefully go and put a run of results together.
You look at this one on paper though, Jordan, and Rotherham sitting in the relegation spot. There's only 3 points between the teams really, a few league positions, but not much as far as points go. They will be disappointed with their start and they'll be looking at today's fixture similarly to try and kick on themselves.
Yeah, they will do. Rich always makes a big point of it to the lads, to the group. For as long as I've been here, it's a case of everyone in this league can beat everyone, and if you show up to any game, no matter who you're playing, whether it's a team near the bottom of the table that are low on confidence, it really doesn't matter, because if you're not on it as a group, you'll get beat. So he would have been drilling into the lads this week that we're focusing on us. We're taking our performance from last week. We're going to try and work and build and get better. What can we improve? The boys have gone over lots of clips on where they can improve, even though it was such a great dominant performance. But he will definitely make sure the lads know to not be thinking of Rotherham's form, anything that's happened earlier on this season, and focus today on ourselves and what we can do. And if we're really at it, then I can't see why we can't pick up the 3 points.
It's a ground where we haven't had much joy against. We've had joy against them here in E10, but as far as away fixtures go and games played at Wembley, but we won't dwell on that one too much. It's a good chance for us to go and hopefully set that record straight.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, touching on what Jordan said, it's important that we don't get too carried away from last week's win. It was a great performance, it was a dominant win, but that's ultimately all it was a win, and we need to put a run of them together if we're going to push up the table. So as long as they go into it the right mindset, I can't see Richie allowing them to go into it in any other way. I have no doubt that they're more than capable of putting result after result after result together. And the last time we won at Rotherham was 1999. So if we needed any more incentive to try and put that to rest, today's the day.
Yeah, hopefully the O's can put the record straight at the New York Stadium this afternoon. Make sure you join us for the action here for that one. But before we take a look at the starting lineup, let's hear from the gaffer, Sir Richie Wellens. Richie, thanks for joining us. Reflecting back on last weekend, then a really good win, and it felt like that one was coming. And has that given a bit of a boost this week on the training ground?
We felt like it's coming, but it's important that it does come because it gives the players confidence. I think if you look at our attacking threat now, we are a threat. Our attacking play is really good. We can score different type of goals. We can run away from people. We can combine. We can counter attack. We can break low blocks down. So we've got a lot of things going for us. I'm more pleased, and I was in the manner of the clean sheet, the fact that we went down to 10 men for the last 17, 18 minutes and still, blocks, put our bodies on the line. Killer made a good save. So I thought, all in all, it was a good day. It's important how we build on that. I am seeing a shift in the confidence from the players.
And with Killian coming in and having such a good performance, he's really staked a claim for a position. I guess it was a big opportunity for him. He took it well, didn't he?
He took the first international break. He come in, he played Port Vale away, won. Peterborough in the cup, won. But we wanted to stay loyal to Tommy, to give him every chance. Obviously he's gone away with England now. Killer will start on Saturday. The goalkeepers know that from training on Wednesday. But he's earned his right, and I'm trying to be as fair as ever. You've got a squad of 26, 27 players. You try and be fair to every one, and give them, when they have the shirt, you give them every opportunity to keep it. But then when someone's knocking the door down, you have to ultimately give them the opportunity on a match day, and Killers certainly took it.
Into the starting lineup for this fixture then, and it's unchanged from last Saturday. That's the starting 11 at least, but let's run through it now to remind ourselves of how the O's will be lining up. So starting in goal after impressing last Saturday is Killian Cahill. Jack Simpson, Dan Happy and the captain Omar Beckles are at the back, with Teo Adaramola and Sean Clare in the wing-back positions. Idris El Mazouni partners Tyreek Bakinson, and Charlie Wellens occupies the 10 role, with Connolly, and Ballard leading the line as a partnership together for the O's. And on the bench is Tommy Simpkin, Tom James, Dimitri Mitchell, Jack Morehouse, Azim Abdullahi, Josh Koroma and Sonny Perkins. So I guess it's no real surprise that we've gone unchanged there, Jordan.
No, not at all. No, I think the boys were, I think it was evident to see last week that the boys put in a wonderful performance. And I've heard a couple of people say in interviews and clips and around the training ground that the performance was coming. It's been building, and I think it's one thing, like Richie touched on there, it's one thing where the performance you can feel that it's coming, and then it's another thing actually delivering. And when you can deliver the performance, that actually really gives you the confidence to be like, okay, we feel a little bit more settled now. We know our patterns of play. We know we're starting to. There was a lot of new additions this summer. People are starting to gel now, and I think now it's just a case of not getting over the top, but still having the belief that there's so much room to improve, no matter what the result is in any game and how good we perform. Keeping that confidence and taking it into each and every game, like I said, because if you're not on it on certain days, then you won't get the result you're after.
Seeing them warming up there. We can't see Killian Cahill at the moment, but he's the big one really. We spoke to Richie in his pre-match interview, and it's good to see that he's been rewarded with that exceptional clean sheet last week, and he starts again today.
Yeah, absolutely. For any player in a squad, and I guess it goes in any workplace, anywhere ever, is if you perform, you deserve the chance to be rewarded. And Killian performed in the couple games that he had over the international break, and he performed over the last international break, and the team have performed with him in goal. So he absolutely deserves to keep his spot. It's obviously a shame for Tommy, who's had to come out the side, because it's a great honour to be called up to the England under-21 squad, but obviously meant that he was forced to miss a couple games. But that's how kind of football goes. He now has to fight his way back into the team, but that's what you want. You want players pushing each other on. It's only going to make each of them better.
We can see our defensive unit there warming up with Paul Terry. Massive blow for Romani to pick up that season-ending injury. I mean, you must feel for him, especially Jordan, but we've got to kind of deal with that now.
Yeah, super difficult. My heart breaks for Reg. He's honestly, he's like the life and soul of the dressing room. He's such a ray of sunshine. He's constantly making everyone smile and everyone laugh. It really couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. And I spoke with him on, I think it was Wednesday. I sent him a text over the weekend, and then I had a conversation with him on Wednesday at the training ground, and I just said, look, you've got to try and take the positives. I said, I know right now it probably feels like there isn't any, because you're now going to be sidelined for the rest of the season. But the first phase of going through this is acceptance. And once you accept what's happened, because unfortunately you can't turn back the hands of time, you can then start to process it all. And it all becomes like, okay, let's change the perspective. In 9 months' time, I want to be faster. I want to be fitter. I want to be better. I want to be stronger mentally, which he will be coming through this. And I think a big plus for him as well is that he's got myself, who did mine when I was at Wolves, and even the patella tendon ruptures, it's a similar time frame, time scale in terms of how long you're out for. He's got Theo, who's had 2 years of coming back from a really difficult knee injury. So I just said to him, look, use us, we're here. Like, there's going to be days where you're feeling really good. There's going to be days where you're not feeling good at all. There's going to be moments in the gym where you feel like you're on your own. But just know you're not. Like, you've got a great group. The dressing room's amazing. You can reach out to each and every one of us at any point. And once he's had his surgery, and fingers crossed it's successful, then once he's back up and walking again and he's moving, we'll all, as a group, make sure that he tries to stay in the most positive mind frame that he can, and we'll be getting him out for dinners and stuff, and just keeping his mind occupied, and hopefully the time will fly for him, and he'll be back next season, and he'll be back better.
Certainly hope that'll be a speedy recovery for Reg. It leaves us with 3 fit centre-backs, really out-and-out centre-backs, but Richie Wellens side is adaptable, and those 3 fit centre-backs, they're in good form at the moment.
Yeah, look, it's unfortunate. We would have obviously wanted the extra player there, but I think all these things present opportunities for other players, whether it is the likes of Tom James or Sean Clare, who might have to drop into those areas at certain points, or whether it's a young player like Phil Chinadu coming into the team. There will be opportunities for someone, and there will be an opportunity for someone to step up, and so that's the only way you can look at it. It's a chance to really develop and grow and make the whole team better. But that's why you have players that are versatile to cover those positions.
And you look at our recent slight uptake in form as well, and we've looked a bit more solid switching to that 3 at the back with the wing backs as well. I know we've been forced into that with other injuries, but it's gone well.
It has gone well. It's something that I know the manager and the staff really wanted to. The emphasis on the game last week was, before we left the dressing room, one of the lasting messages from the manager was, we get a clean sheet here today. I saw quite a fascinating stat actually, that Leyton Orient have scored the most goals and conceded the most goals this season. So it's finding that balance now. And fortunately, the team are very good technical players and the staff are extremely good tactically. So we've been able to now almost become quite a fluid team that can adapt from our typical 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3 and now go into a wing-back system. And the boys have taken to it quite well, which also presents problems now for the opposition, because they're going to look at the O's as a very fluid team and almost not know how to prepare for each game. So I think there's a real plus in being able to switch formations in game, before the match, sorry. And yeah, I think that will only help us in the long run.
I think fluid's a great word there, because I think you can look at that formation on paper and get stuck into the mindset that that's a defensive formation. It isn't.
Yeah, correct.
I thought last week was perhaps the most aggressive I've seen us in a pressing sense. You had Dan Happy, you had Omar Beckel stepping up to essentially the opposition's 18-yard box, following defenders. It actually can allow more space for the likes of Conley and Ballard and your wing backs to attack. I think there's a lot of attacking intent in it as well, and hopefully solidifies us as well. You're going to rely on your Idrises and your Baconsons to step in and cover for people at times, but I don't think it's a necessarily negative formation.
I think just touch on Elliot's point there as well. What this makes for a really good matchup today, where I like this, because obviously naturally we're a very aggressive team. Richie wants everyone to, especially the front players, to press. So when you then come up against a team, now that we are playing with wing backs, you come up against a team like Rotherham that also play wing backs. It's almost like a man for man. It's just full on, go for it. And we have the confidence, obviously, because of last week, that any footballer will tell you that if you've got a 4-0 win the week before, the confidence is up, and then you go into this game and it's like it's man for man. Teo and Sean will know and will be locked onto my wing backs, and you can really press. Aaron and Dom will be locked on. Charlie will be locked on. I think we're going to see a really aggressive, front-footed Orient team today, and I think it will be a joy to watch.
We're going to have to be, of course, to go out there and get the goals to win the games, but defensively as well. As Jordan touched on, we've conceded the most goals in the league. a clean sheet last week was all well and good, but we don't want to go out and add to that tally now. And when you've got the likes of Dan Happy in the defence, as we'll see some clips from now, he's been in fine form this season, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think there's no doubt in the quality that Dan Happy brings to this football club and has brought to this football club over a number of years. I don't think there's a lot of doubt in the quality of any of that back three. Omar has so many appearances at this level, and I worked with Jack Simpson in the Premier League, so he's got pedigree, real pedigree. I think having a run for Jack Simpson will be good. He hasn't really had that for a lot of his time here, and they're three outstanding footballers. Hopefully the clean sheet last week will bring that extra level of confidence, and then knowing, as playing more and more together, knowing exactly where each one needs to be, how to cover each other, will play to everyone's strengths, and we can build from there.
Let's move up the pitch a little bit then, Jordan. We've touched on it already, and Richie said in his pre-match interview, it doesn't need to become the Ballard and the Connolly show, but a front two, you don't see it very often, and they're both scoring goals. What a joy it is to watch them at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, if they carry on like that, I think it's hard for it to not become the Dom and Aaron Connolly show. I think they're in excellent form, and I think they complement each other really well. I think Aaron is, the level that he's played at, and now you see here, he's clearly too good for this level, in my opinion. And Dom as well. Dom coming in, obviously hasn't had much experience, but seems to be taking the pressure like a duck to water. Really, he's enjoying his football. He's constantly smiling. And then when you're a striker and you're scoring goals, you're going to be smiling. When you're getting hat tricks, you're going to really, really be smiling. So they're a joy to watch. They both understood the roles and the assignment really quickly of what the manager's asked of them. They're brilliant off the ball. They must be a nightmare to play against as defenders because they're constantly pressing, they're constantly in your face. And me and Elliot were speaking just before we came on about some players that struggle with pressing because they waste so much energy pressing that when they get the ball, they almost can't then deliver. But with Aaron and with Dom, they can press for days and then they get the ball and they still look just as sharp. So I think they're a dream front two. They're a dream pairing right now, and hopefully long may that continue, and hopefully long may the goals continue too.
And what's maybe gone under the radar a little bit, maybe not for him because he's just signed a contract extension.
Yes.
But how good has Charlie Wellens been?
Yes, I love that you asked that question because he's been fantastic. I think he is everything you want in a Richie Wellens team. I know that's ironic given that he's Richie's son, but he has just a great base level to work off. He works really hard. He rarely gives the ball away. He picks up good areas, and he's got the quality to add to that. You see him in front of goal. He's not afraid to take a shot, but he can pick out a pass as well. I think he's really had to fight to prove himself. From being a trialist to then getting a short-term contract, and it's been really nice to see him rewarded because he's I think made himself pretty indispensable to this team.
And he looks like he really complements not only the front two, just playing in behind them, linking things up, keeping things moving, but that midfield three as well. He's been a real good find.
Yeah, I think he's excellent. I think it's the way that he's dealt with the whole situation himself, because of course it can't be easy coming into a team where your dad is the manager. But I think it's also been really cool to see. I saw an interview with, I think it was Richie and Dave after one of the games where he was like, I think it might be the Port Vale game where he scored the goal at the end, and he said, I don't want it to be about, a dad and a son. He said he's part of the team, he's a player, he's going to get treated like a player. If he doesn't play well, he's not going to play, and if he plays well, then he'll play. And Charlie is really quiet, he's really humble, extremely humble. And I think his versatility at such a young age is amazing. He can play almost anywhere, and he looks super comfortable. And I also think when you've got two electric players in front of him, like Dom and like Aaron, I think Charlie's almost the unsung hero at the minute. It's just some of the passes he plays, his vision's excellent, he works really hard off the ball, he's communicating really well, and I think he's starting to slowly come out of his shell as well, which will only improve him as a player. So I think he has a really bright future ahead of him.
Absolutely. And he also, as we say, compliments not only the two in front of him, but the two behind him who are really starting to learn each other's game now. Idrissa Mazouni and Bakinson are making that midfield position their own.
Yeah, I think that number 10 position, you can find a multitude of different players. You can often find players that are creative geniuses but don't offer that work rate off the ball and don't complement the press, or you can find players that solely do that and can't quite be as creative as you'd like them to be. I think Charlie is that perfect balance at the minute, and he kind of suits everyone, as you say. I think it frees up Idris and Bakinson to cover areas, or because both of them are actually quite gifted in an attacking sense in their own right. They both make good runs. They like to drive with the ball, and it's nice for them to know that they've got someone who's diligent enough to, when they push forward, to take that step forward, who might drop back and cover, or who will just do all the work that you need from someone in that position.
Absolutely right then. Just under 10 minutes to go until kick-off, and of course don't forget, if you're watching along live on our YouTube preview stream, then you can follow all of the action here with us on Orient Live today. International fans you can watch with a pass for just £10, and international fans, and fans in the UK, you can pick up an audio pass to listen along with Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock. And kick-off, as I said, is just under 10 minutes away, so don't hang about. Go and pick up your passes now to follow us along, and also stay tuned on the YouTube channel from tomorrow when the Orient Live debrief will also be released. Right then, before we take a look at the Rotherham side, let's have a short break.
Is lunch at work awesome? If so, tune out now. If not, keep listening. Picture this: chef-made meals from local restaurants brought right into your workplace. No sad sandwiches, no tired menus. By tapping into the local restaurant scene, Fuda powers workplace dining for companies across the US, giving teams flavor, convenience, and authenticity. Half of Glassdoor's best places to work have partnered with Fuda. Is your team ready to upgrade its workplace food scene? Find out how at Fuda.com. That's FOODA.com.
Right then, time to take a look at the Millers as they prepare to face the mighty O's, and let's take a look and see who starts for them this afternoon. Starting in goal is their number one, it's Cameron Dawson. The captain, Joe Rafferty, is in defence with Jamal Baptiste and Zach Jules. We have Daniel Gore, Sean Williams and Joe Powell in the middle, with RJ Martha and Cian Spence in the wing-back positions. Josh Benson plays just behind Jordan Hugel, who leads the line. And on the bench for Matt Hamshaw's team is Ted Can, Denzel Hall, Sean Raggett, Liam Kelly, Drew Yearwood and Sam Nombi. Now, we've touched on them already, but as Jordan, you said, it's a bit of a match-up here. It's a bit of a like-for-like. Not much to separate us in terms of points. It's going to be a real hard-fought battle for both sides today. Yeah,
it will be a really hard-fought battle for both sides. I do like the element of the match-up. I think it's going to suit. I think it's going to suit us really well today, with the high press and going man for man. They've got, as you just saw the team sheet, then they've got quite a fair bit of experience, especially at the back with Rafferty and Zach Jules, Cameron Dawson in goal. But yeah, I think today for us, we've just got to focus on ourselves. I think we need to keep improving defensively. I think that's something that is going to be key for us moving forward, because clearly we don't have any problems going forward at the moment, or all season. So I think if we can stay locked in on being really solid defensively and at the back, then I think going forward we shouldn't have too much of a problem, and hopefully that's the case today.
Just had correspondence from Matt Hiscock actually in the gantry at the New York Stadium. Denzel Hall has been withdrawn and Cian Spence starts. So we've got that one wrong just there. So there's a change to the Rotherham lineup, who also now have one less player on the bench. Not ideal for them to deal with in preparations for the game. No, and in my research, kind of seems to be a problem that they're struggling with a little bit at the minute. Injuries, and there's little niggles that they're picking up. They have the striker Martin Sharif, who has scored a couple goals in the last few games, looks quite bright, and unfortunately missing out for them today. So I think that's been a problem. We just have to try and capitalise on it. I'm sure what we do won't be wildly affected by who plays for them. I'm pretty sure we will consider ourselves good enough to take on anyone. But yeah, they're just having a bit of a slow start. But there's definite quality in that team. Yeah, there is, and as we'll see from some of the goals scored by Rotherham so far this season, they're probably not. You'd expect a team to finish the season in those relegation spaces.
No, they're not. No, I think it would come as quite a shock if we were to, 6-7 weeks ago to say that Rotherham. Where are they in the league now? What position?
23rd.
23rd. Yeah, I think that would come as quite a shock to most people. But again, I mean, we're in a place now, I think, where we're well aware after how we've started in probably the past 2 previous seasons that it doesn't really matter so much where you are right now when you can go on runs like we have, especially last season. And it's proof. The proof is there that you have to be on it every game. You can't look at league positions because teams can pick up points. You win 3 games in a week and you move 7, 8, 9 places up the table. So Richie would have made sure he'd have nailed that into the players' minds that this is another very important game. Don't worry about what they've been doing too much or the form that they're in. And it wouldn't surprise me if he'd even mentioned about the players coming out in the warm-up and it might put them off. It will be, we're here to do our job, we're focusing solely on us. And let's go out there today and put on a performance to the best of our abilities.
You saw a mixture of some of the goals they've scored, some of the goals they've conceded. Like us, a bit of a tricky team to maybe in some games know what to make of it.
Yeah, look, who knows what kind of Rotherham team will come out today. That's why you just got to focus on what we do and what we do best. I think we're capable of beating any team in the league on our day. And so we just got to go in with the confidence that we've built from last week, go do what we do best, and hopefully the result will come.
The O's debuting the green third kit the away kit, apologies, for the first time this season, which is of course available to purchase online and in store. What a kit that is, by the way. And what do you think they're feeling now, Jordan? It's an unchanged 11, high confidence from last Saturday. They've got to go out there and put on a show, haven't they?
Yeah, I think there'll be a real inner belief in the lads today. They were all out there this time last week. They've worked hard this week on the training ground on patterns of play that they want to execute today. I think they'll all be very confident in the game plan, and I think it's really important here that we start on the front foot. We get in their faces, and something that always stays in my mind when I'm on the pitch. If I'm playing a team that's near the bottom of the table away, then you want to be really aggressive from the start. And if you can get an early goal as soon as possible, the crowd can get on the backs of the other players really quickly, and things can change, and it can be quite an uncomfortable environment for the home team. And as the away team, which the O's are today, you want to make them as uncomfortable as you possibly can. So I think I wouldn't be surprised if before the lads went out today, Rich was saying exactly that to them and saying let's go make this atmosphere uncomfortable for those players and try and get a goal as early as we can.
Are you confident, Elliot?
Yeah, as confident as I've been all season, perhaps. Yeah, there's no reason why you can't go out there and get a result and back the boys.
Well, we'll see how the O's get on in this one. It looks as though Omar's won the toss, and hopefully that's a sign of good things to come. So then, let's hand over now to our match conference team of Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock.
Good afternoon and welcome to the New York Stadium where Leyton Orient have yet to win.